was hard. That was difficult to, you know, in watching these Hitchcock movies, Diane and I had seen all of them before we started doing this video blog, and with the exception of these two, I saw them a little bit, but when, you know, in watching them tonight, this was the first time I'd seen them. And I personally found it very difficult to follow the plot, even though I kind of knew what was going on because I'd read about them, and notice the Hitchcockian stuff. I really couldn't do both, but I'm not very smart, so maybe you could. As you're watching all these movies, Diane kept pointing out, look, the shadows, and she pointed out what you know, some things, this and that, and I guess it might be worth watching again. But I think ultimately he really, the goal here was not to show off and not be developing the art form and to come up with new ideas. The idea was to get the story across that, you know, and they pretty much hit you over the head with it, that resisting is good and not resisting is bad, and that's the thing. That's the thing. The difference between this film and Lifeboat is that Lifeboat, which did not resonate with audiences at the time, has some gray areas and has some, you know, is this German guy in the boat? Is he a bad guy? Not really. Well, there's no gray area in these movies, and these two films are more like a lot of the wartime propaganda films that we're used to. Although those ones saw the light of day, these ones didn't. That, you know, if you're a Nazi, you're bad. If you're a Gestapo, you're bad. You're a murderer. If you're a German, you're bad. But if you're for Free French, you're good. That's it. Black and white, clear cut. That's kind of what we saw here. But we did see some things, as Diane pointed out. We saw, you know, some shadows. There were spies, so we're used to seeing spies, and especially in those Gaumont British, the men who knew too much. We had spies and sabotage, and, you know, all these things that were predicting World War II. We had double crosses, murder, a little bit of humor. I don't know if you caught that, but in Bon Voyage, when the two guys, the Scottish pilot is talking with the Gestapo, he doesn't realize he's a Gestapo guy, but he's talking to that old man and woman, and he says, I'm an RAF pilot, and she's like, what's a RAF, what's that? And he says, RAF. They say it different in English, and it's hilarious because it's exactly the same in French, so what have you. But and charming, you know, we had this charming villain, not who they appear to be. So, and some trains, a strong woman. We're all surprised to find out that the resistance woman in Bon Voyage is a woman, so, or the resistance person is a woman, so so there you go. Also neat to have stories told in flashback. Now, even though, this is interesting, even though in Bon Voyage we basically heard the same story twice, in the second time we just got more information. It still was the same story. And I'm not going to give anything away, but there's a movie down the road that we're going to be shown in flashback, much like a film noir film, and it's not true. The flashback you're seeing never happened, and that was too crazy for audiences at the time. And I don't want to give anything away because you're not supposed to know that when you're seeing it. So hopefully you'll forget that I just said that. So there you go. That's fun. So. And then with the second film, well, who do you trust? That's the tough part. Is you know, it was scary times, and I think Alfred felt good that he at least did his part. The Ministry of Censoring knew, well, whatever. But you know, he did what he could, and he came back, and he also was able to pay respects to his mother, as we mentioned last week. His mother did pass away. And so he was able to go to her grave, and it wasn't a very fun trip. Apparently, I mean, he's in London. He's seeing all the results of you know, two years of bombings, and the theaters are all closed up, and the studios are all closed up, and so he may have been happy to get back to sunny California, but who knows? So there you go. That's it. So we're good with these two films. I'm glad I saw them. Maybe you're not. So leave your comments and tell us what you think. More than any of the films, it'd be interesting to see what you guys all think. So good. So we are now officially done with 1944. We talked all about 1944 last week, and we're done. So we'll be on to next week's movie, Spellbound, co-written by Angus MacPhail and Ben Hecht, who did the ending in Foreign Correspondent and Lifeboat. So that's going to be great. We're really looking forward to that. So until next week, from our couch to yours, we'll see you next week.